Hey guys, it's Takasta here again. Welcome to another video review. So today I'll be reviewing the SteelSeries 9H Premium Tournament Gaming headset from SteelSeries. So this is the new flagship gaming headset from SteelSeries, upgraded from the previous 7H and the previous 5H V2. So they released actually a 5H V3, the 9H, and also the Seperation Elite. So I haven't had a chance to try the other two, but since I've known some people who tried the Seperation Elite and had mixed reviews, so I want to pick this up as not many people tried this headset out. So this is kind of going to be a long review, so this is just a word of warning in advance. However, I am going to be covering basically everything that there is to talk about this headset. So please stay tuned and stay with me. I'm going to talk about a lot of things. I'm going to talk about the price, the accessibility with this. There comes a lot of accessories, the build quality, the sound quality, in particular with movies, with music, as they say, they made a lot of improvements. The gaming, the sound card, in fact, because it is a USB sound card, the mic, and just the overall value for what you are paying for. So starting with the price, so I paid in Hong Kong, it's 1,199 Hong Kong dollars, which is about 140 US, 135 US, etc. So on the SteelSeries website, for Europe, it's priced 159 euros, which is absolutely insane pricing, in my opinion. And on the US site, it's priced at 159 US. So for the price, it is quite steep. SteelSeries have never charged exactly this much before. Even for the 7H, they charge 100, 110, 120 US. So this, for their gaming headset line, they are charging quite a bit. So is it worth it? Well, I'm going to talk about the sound quality and everything afterwards, and I'll give you a conclusion on whether this is really value for money. So first, I'm going to talk about just the overall weight and look of it. So as you can see, it's quite bendy, it's quite flexible. You can bend it, make it bigger or smaller, so it's not like a one-size-fit-all, as a retractable mic, and it's quite a fairly light headset. So just weighing the headset itself, it's about 290 grams, so it's not as heavy as, say, like the Seperation Elite apparently is quite heavy. This is quite a light-weighted headset, so that's quite nice. So now moving on to the accessibility and the cables of the headset. So this headset does come with a switchable cable option. So first of all, you have this main cable here. As you can see, you just plug this right into your headset, and you have this button right here, which is mic on and off, which is quite nice. And you have a sound adjustment for your headset itself. So having this just on the headset cable itself is quite nice, so you don't really have to touch your sound control on your computer, which I actually quite enjoy. It's quite a nifty feature. So if you see here, it leads off to some sort of USB looking end, I guess, and then there's a wide variety of things that you can plug into it. The first one you can plug into it is a single wire 3.5 mm. You just plug it in, and there's one 3.5 mm jack. So if you plug this into a Mac, basically it acts as both a microphone and a headphone jack as well. Next, you have the, for Windows, you have another jack which splits it into a 3.5 mm audio and a mic jack as well. So for Windows computers, etc., you can just plug into the mic and plug into the audio sound, and you get both, which is absolutely great. Third cable you get is the extension. So the extension extends it by like 2 meters, I believe. And it's quite nice, so if you're like quite far away, this just acts as a nice extension. Nice just to add it in. Fourthly is the USB sound card. So this is what the USB sound card looks like, and it's quite nice. So you can plug your main cable directly into the USB slot here into the USB sound card. So this is an external sound card. Afterwards, you plug the USB into a USB slot, and basically this sound card replaces your sound card onto your laptop. Also on the sound card, and other than the USB slot, it also has a normal audio and normal mic slot. So you can actually plug in this headset into the USB sound card, and then also plug in another headset if you wanted to, or speakers into this slot if you wanted to as well. However, I wouldn't really recommend, I'll get to the sound quality of this USB sound card afterwards, but these are basically the main accessibility cables for this headset. Now moving on to the build quality of this headset. So for $159, like US dollars, because that's just an easier reference, you better be expecting some really good build quality from this headset. And I can tell you, even from my unboxing videos, I was very amazed at the build quality. First of all, it's extremely comfortable, and you can just see from these pictures here, they really took a different approach to the padding. For the ear cuffs, ear cups, they use some kind of leather, or I think it's probably pleather, onto this very soft foam. So when you wear it, it just like sinks into your skin, which is extremely nice. It's some of the better, like even for headphones. If you compare most headphones, these are extremely soft, extremely comfortable, extremely nice pleather, if anything. So on the top of the headset, you have this little cushions which kind of rest on top of your head. So I've worn this for like a couple hours on end, just gaming, and I've never had the urge to really take it off, other than to really like scratch my ears or scratch my head. These are extremely comfortable, some more comfortable even headphones, in fact, that I've ever used. Next, I'm going to talk about the build quality of the other components of the headset. So the plastic that it uses is not exactly top grade. It feels quite hollow. I think if you dropped it, you might be able to break it. However, it's still quite sturdy in that sense. Like if you can just see from these pictures, you can tell the plastic used isn't exactly extremely good quality, but I think it'll do the job. It's quite light bodied, so if they used any heavier kind of metals or heavier like material, it might be a lot heavier, but I think it would do the job. The hinges seem quite well molded on, I guess, but in general it's just very nice to look at. And when you put it on, you absolutely just don't feel it. I think it really adds to the lightness of the headset, and just being and if they added too much onto it, it make it very heavy. Okay, now moving on to the cable. So the cable is quite nice. It uses a double braided cable similar to that of the other SteelSeries products. However, this cable is much more flexible. It's not stiff at all, and it's very loose. If you can see from this video, it's extremely loose. You can probably play like jump rope with this. That's how like loose this cable is. So this is quite nice. Doesn't tangle at all, which is absolutely awesome. Now moving on to the sound quality of the headset. So SteelSeries have never, like with their previous gaming headsets like the 7H, the 5H V2, the 3H for example, music was never their strong sense. They always focused a lot on gaming, a lot on sound, like imaging, the Soundstage being very wide, being able to locate people. But so with the 9H, with the increased price point as well, they really wanted to put an emphasis on whether or not it be more versatile. So you can listen to music, you can listen to watch movies, and also do a little gaming on the side. So in terms of music, I'm going to be dissecting it, or try my best to dissect it. I'm slight audiophile myself as well. Like I use like kind of ultrasone headphones, the ultrasone pros. I have like in-ear monitors, the Westone 4Rs as well. So I'll try my best to dissect the musicality of this headset in terms of music. So the first thing you notice is that it has a very punchy bass, almost slightly overwhelming to that extent. However, in terms of its punchy, usually you would feel that headsets, or even worse, headphones, they would usually be very muddy and very unclear, and just like make everything really just muddy, and that's actually a good word. However, even though I feel like the bass on this headset is slightly overpowering, however, it does have very good bass extension, and it does feel very full bodied. So it does actually bring the music out, bring the music to life in that sense. It makes it very full body, and it has quite a tight bass. So when you listen to it, you don't feel like it's muddling with the entire music. It actually, I think, gives it quite a bit of good which is I really enjoy. However, in this sense, because it's slightly overwhelming, it makes the highs and the mids somewhat more overpowered, or is overpowered by the bass. The highs in general, it does lack a little bit of clarity, because it does seem quite weak as well. In addition, it also feels slightly more recessed. This is similar to the mids as well. The mids are not as responsive, they're a bit laid back, they're a bit recessed. However, it's not that they're not that clear, it's just that the bass is somewhat a little bit overwhelming. That's why the highs and mids don't come out as well. But overall, I think it's still quite a nice headphone to listen to music on, even though the bass can be slightly overwhelming. In terms of the Soundstage, though, I think this really surprised me. The Soundstage for this headset is actually wider than an average headset you find at this price point, which is quite odd. And also the sound separation, this is very analytical. You can really distinguish different sounds on the left and right side. I listen to a lot of electronic music and EDM music. So the sound separation also helps bring that to life. So the sound separation added to the bass, I think makes this headset somewhat enjoyable, or at least more enjoyable than the previous gaming headsets. Now I'll be moving on to movies. So in terms of movies, this is a stereo headset, And I think with the bass, it does bring, with the tight bass, I think the bass is probably the best thing about this headset in terms of music. So in movies, it really brings out, like if you have a lot of gunshot fire, a lot of like kind of music melodrama, it really brings out the life. I really enjoyed this. Just like wearing this even as headphones, this headset as headphones, I enjoy watching movies. And it's because, added to the fact that it's extremely comfortable, I really like wearing these headphones for headset for movies, because they are also quite analytical as well. So when people talk, you kind of hear like where they're coming from, and they're coming from the left or they're coming from right. So quite enjoyable in general. In terms of gaming, however, this is one point that people might be concerned about. So is the Soundstage great? Is the Soundstage as good as the 7H or the 5H V2? In my opinion, I actually never tried the 7H, so this is my first time jumping from the 5H V2 to the 9H. The Soundstage is actually, the sound imaging is not as good as the 5H V2. The 5H V2 was absolutely amazing in terms of Soundstage. You play some Quake, CS, and you can hear the footsteps and exactly where they are, like by pinpointing. That was how good it was. But that headset lacked in sound quality and everything else. So this headset, in terms of Soundstage, it was still quite decent, but not at a very, very elite level. So I love playing Quake. I play a map called Fatal Instinct, so that map is really foggy, so all you can do is like listen to music or use your audio to check out where the people are. So in terms of Soundstage, it's still decent, but not extremely good, but still very decent for headset standards. In terms of, I do a lot of mobile gaming as well, and everything for that, I think is perfectly fine. The audio is just as it described for the music, and for gaming it's not as important for mobile gaming, but I think still is quite decent. Now moving on to the sound card, which is actually quite important. The sound card does make a difference, because the external sound card compared to the onboard sound card, what I do, well, I do game on my Mac, so I'm using the sound card of the Mac compared to the sound card of the external sound card on this headset. So for the sound card, it does, in terms of the sonic value or the sonic changes, it does reduce the bass, but the bass still retains the bass extension. So in this sense, the sound card, in fact, does bring it back a little, bring the bass back a little, and does bring the highs and the mids forward. So you have a somewhat of better balance between the bass and the mids and the highs. So in this sense, the USB sound card does in fact improve this headset in terms of just using in terms of gaming. Obviously, if you bring this headset on the go and listen on the street, you're plugging into your iPhone, you still get the kind of, you won't get the benefits of the USB sound card. But if you're using it at home, I definitely recommend using the sound card, because it does make quite a big difference. So another thing that they introduced here is the Dolby Pro Logic IIx, the 7.1 virtual sound. So in terms of what it does is just changes the stereo sound into a virtual 7.1 sound. Is it better? Absolutely not. This is one thing that I would not recommend. You can see in the software, just turn it on, and supposedly it turns into a 7.1 virtual. So for music, absolutely crap. For games, absolutely crap. The only way you would use it is maybe for movies. You can change it, and it does feel more virtual but it kind of feels somewhat unnatural. So even for movies, I'd rather stick with the stereo, and it feels more lively. And if I'm wearing headphones, I want to feel that kind of stereo soundstage. And with a 7.1 soundstage, it just doesn't sound weird. I mean, it just sounds quite weird. It doesn't sound natural. So therefore, I really don't like the Dolby Pro Logic. And just as it is, I quite like it with the sound card and with everything else. So that's what I would recommend to people if you were buying this headset. Don't be fooled by the Dolby thing. I really do not buy it. Alright, onto the mic. So the mic, onto the mic and maybe the software. So onto the software, as you can see here, you can change a lot of things. You can change the Dolby headphones. You can change the equalizer, the presets. There's a mic noise reduction, which is quite odd. Here I'll talk about the mic quality. The mic quality is just fine. I guess there's nothing much to say about it. There's mic noise reduction. There's the auto mic compression, which apparently adjusts the volume of your mic so that other people can listen to you more clearly or won't be suddenly overpowered by your sound. There's a mic side tone, which is basically you can turn it up so you can hear your own volume of your own voice, so you know how loud or soft you're speaking. And also you can adjust the mic volume here. Which I don't believe you can adjust on. Yeah, you can adjust the volume in the firmware. So overall, the mic is a good one. And also, oh, sorry, I missed something. Here's the live preview. So you can turn it on, and what it does is when you adjust the settings, it'll automatically give you a preview of what that setting is. So once you like it, you can just save it and it'll save to that setting. If you don't have live preview on, you have to save every time in order to affect the change. So it's really just like a immediate preview of what your setting is. Now, on to the conclusion. So I hope I didn't bore you guys with that review. I tried to cover basically everything from the build quality to the music to gaming, everything. So overall for $159, is the price for a headset, it seems quite steep. However, you have to keep in mind that you're getting quite a decent headphones as well. Headphones for music, for your computer, headphones for your iPad or iPhone or your smartphone. On mobile, I think I would definitely just use these maybe like around the house, and maybe even I would consider bringing them out because they are quite very comfortable, and the sonic degree or the sonic features, attributes as it brings is actually quite nice. Compared to other like $159 headphones, I would say it doesn't really lack that much. Like, you would definitely be able to find a better solution for headphones. Like, people always say you should always get headphones and just get a separate mic. That sounds like that's always the best choice. However, like after testing these, like, and I'm somewhat of a small audio buff as well, and I feel like this headphones actually performs really decently well. With this bass is actually very tight, very good bass extension, and is very punchy and it's very well rounded. It does overshadow the mids and the highs a little bit, but with using the USB sound card, it does bring it all back together as I described before. So $159, I would recommend getting. I genuinely would recommend getting this. This is one of my more favorite products. However, like, people might say I'm a SteelSeries fanboy. However, once I do my review on the SteelSeries Rival, you know that I'm really not. I'm not a fan of the SteelSeries Rival. Just that's a preview into that review. I think the US SteelSeries site is doing a discount for $119, and I think for $119, that is quite a bargain. I would absolutely get it. It's definitely worth it for the sound quality that you are getting, let alone the headset. But for $159, I still think it is worth it. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video review, and if you like that, please subscribe and like, and stay tuned for my review on the SteelSeries Rival. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks, guys.